Hi everyone, welcome to this edition of the Brocast, where we give you bite-sized bits of best practices designed to help you be a better leader and a more effective communicator. I'm your host, Jared Bro. Each week on the Brocast, we go online and ask you a question so that you can discuss it with your professional colleagues. And at the end of the week, we aggregate some of the most interesting observations to share them back with you. So this week, our question was this: how long should your crisis communications plan be? Interesting question. How long should your crisis communications plan be? Now, no one actually specified a number of pages, which is interesting in itself, but I'm going to tell you in a moment, this was also partially a trick question. Chris said this: as long as it takes to be efficient and effective. Steve adds that, seriously, it doesn't need to be long, who does what, where, and how often. You would be surprised at how many plans don't even include that information. Giselle says long enough to be confident that you've addressed every potential landmine and to ensure a seamless and positive outcome. And Cynthia says regardless of the length, add a post-mortem lessons learned summary that you can share with your leaders and your counterparts. Crisis communications plans can be one of the most frustrating things to deal with anywhere in the world. I've been doing it for more than 20 years, and I probably write more per year than just about anybody in public relations, and you're going to see why. Here are 3 documents called crisis communications plans. Each one of them contains the same information, and they're each about 6 pages long. On the other hand, this is my plan. It's a 50-page plan with about 100 pre-written news releases in it, so it's roughly about 600 pages. So how is it that I call a crisis communications plan this 600-page document that I produce in 2 days, and these organizations have a 6-page plan that they also call a crisis communications plan? The flaw with these plans is they state standard operating procedure. They say you should do something, but they don't say how fast you should do it. They never assign the task to anyone, and they're very vague, and they don't contain contact information, and they're recipes for disaster. Proof: this is from Virginia Tech University. On that sad day in April of 2007, when 32 people died, this was the crisis communications plan that I downloaded from their website. And it's dated that the last update was February 8th, 2002. This was not a living document. It was not kept up to date. And there is nothing in here that would guide you, that you would find useful to pick up on the day of the crisis. For example, it gives you a list of about 20 officials to call. Doesn't have a single name, doesn't have a single phone number, doesn't have any contact information. And it says foolish things like, consider whether you'll need to call a news conference. Really? It says things like, gather information. Really? Standard operating procedure, Public Relations 101, and outdated. Here's one from Penn State. I downloaded this one the day that the sex scandal broke. It hadn't been updated since 2006. Also, the very same document. Here's one that they went to the trouble of printing in full color. That's nothing like people screaming on an amusement park ride for a crisis communications plan for an amusement park. Here's what I will admit to you. You cannot find good examples online. It doesn't exist. And in public relations classes, in the Public Relations Society of America, in IBC, International Association of Business Communicators, there are no good templates. And I don't give mine away either. Mine's actually registered with the Copyright Office so that when people acquire this, it's actually a license. But here's what I would like you to do. Here are the concepts that I use in my plans. Think about everything on a clear sunny day that a senior communicator would do in the midst of any crisis, whether it's a horrible workplace shooting or something smoldering like sexual harassment or some type of discrimination. And write down sequentially all the steps you would take and specify how fast you should begin your communications. In my plans, my format says that the first statement needs to go out in 1 hour or less of the onset of the crisis. I will admit That is 59 minutes too long in a Twitter world. But 1 hour is light years in a corporate world where often I watch 3, 4, 5 hours go by before an official statement comes out. So in the first hour, there are certain steps you take, very specific questions you ask, very specific people that you get in touch with on the crisis management team and the crisis communications team, and all of their contact information is in here. And most important is that there are 100 or more pre-written fill-in-the-blank multiple choice news releases, because often what slows down communications in a crisis is that people spend a lot of time wordsmithing the document only to have executives take out a red pen and just scratch through everything and fight over semantics and fight over commas. So on a clear sunny day over the past 20 years, I've created all of these documents, and I've created so many of them that now I can walk into a client's office and actually customize this in 2 days for them. So how long should a crisis communications plan be? Thorough enough that it captures every behavior of a senior communicator in sequential order. It must assign very specific tasks to very specific people and have alternates for those people. And most importantly, a timeline to communicate quickly and effectively and often. I hope that helps you. If you have any questions, I've got lots of workshops about crisis communications, or you can just pick up the phone and call me, and we can go deeper on the discussion of what makes for a good crisis communications plan. I hope this is helpful to you. We'll be back next week with another discussion question. For the Brocast, I'm Jared Bro.